So, a lot of y'all, there we go, add a little bit of brightness to this face. Uh, is this gambling thing in the NBA a problem? More importantly, what do y'all, the people, don't understand about them not doing it? So, just so you know, this is sponsored by King Draft. Now, if you ever feel like losing some money on some things that you thought was predictable but it's not really, then I want you to put your money into the account of mine or others, and we'll fill out things that we think might also be right, but it's not really right at the same time, thus giving you a chance, small one, but a chance to hit for a big lick on something that might be able to pay your rent after you done gambled away all of your rent money. So go to King Draft and you'll be able to get a little bit of something off of nothing. Anyway, so I was like, this comes about basically because every time there's one, Malik Beasley is the biggest one right now. Before that, it was Terry Rozier, and before that was Jonte Porter, and I don't doubt that there won't be another person or something like that will come across as something, just because gambling now that is legal all the way around, pretty much has given the people a little bit too much incentive to start doing things all willy-nilly. Now, as of right now, I was like, it doesn't look like anything is really going to happen to Rozier at this time, or it's still at least being investigated. Even though it's like he's not involved, but it's still got to be investigated. He's basically still getting investigated in a way that's going to cost him what he could have started doing during free agency. And within that time, a lot of stuff that came out to basically add fuel to the fire that, oh, he definitely did it, because why is he owing this money to the barber and all these other people? But this is the thing that's like I've seen this, and this is the thing after that of what I've seen from the regular people, is that when a lot of these other people are talking about these things, where it be in whether it be on some of the people podcasts or whatever like that, talking about the whole thing. And then guess what? A lot of these people are subscribed to gambling sites telling you to put your money into these things, whatever like that, various ones. And a lot of people basically it's just like, oh man, that's crazy that you're going to be over here talking about this and talking about how the players shouldn't gamble and whatnot, and you're over here soliciting gambling to people to basically that you're sponsored by and stuff. And I don't understand any of y'all. The reason they can't gamble is because their job told them not to, and also because it directly can affect the gambling. When I was like, now if you want to talk about how they'll be over here selling you gambling places while also telling you how badly gambling, like there's the whole thing that after you do the whole gambling thing, there'll be a read as like, if you're having trouble really dealing with your gambling things and you're feeling like you're over here, you need to call this 1-800 number in order to make sure that we get you the right therapy, in order to make sure, like, there's all that type of stuff. And that I can understand. That's a little bonkers. That's less really hypocritical in that kind of way. For the gambling sponsor in itself, but I was like, it's no too different than if you buy tobacco and it tells you that it's like, hey, this stuff can cause you to be sick, and it's like, all right, cool. Or when you see caution hot and you just still decide to stick your tongue in the coffee and it's like, it burned, that was on you. So even with the gambling, I was like, I feel like it's a different addiction, but because I was like, it seemed like you wouldn't do no harm in the same way you could do with tobacco, or you could do with like alcohol or things like that. It doesn't feel like directly, but we know that some people, when you get addicted and you're just going, and it's so easy accessible because it's on your phone now, that it can become a problem. So I understand for them. I even understand if you want to say to the podcast and all the people that will say that and then talk about how bad gambling is and stuff like that. But at the same day, I'm like, hey, I was like, how much does money start, money ends? But as far as the players, I'm like, what part is it? It's like that is just total. I was like, that's not the same thing at all. I was like, if I know that it says it's like I am over under 20 points a night, 3 assists or whatever, we're going with basketball right now, and I gamble on it, and I could be like, yo, I'm gonna hit under. I can easily affect that. I can easily decide not to score 20 tonight. Now, if I put over, I was like, I guess that's the whole thing of like betting on your team or betting on yourself kind of thing. And it's like, sure, I get it. You're doing a high risk, high reward thing because I might not score 20 tonight, no matter how damn I'm trying, but I still have a direct effect on the game. Even if not, even if I was like, I think it might also be for some of the other people that they can gamble, like maybe if you're a trainer and all this other stuff, because it's like, it's like, okay, I was like, I've been seeing that dude in scrimmage, I've been seeing that dude practice, I've been seeing that dude on the table getting taped. You got too much information now hold in order for you to be doing this. This basically some of the same reason why basically if you over here got some form of something in the stocks and stuff like that, that if you get a call, you ain't supposed to be getting the call to be like, hey, pull out right now. Like, I ain't gonna say that something gonna happen tomorrow. Like, there's a reason why the inside training and all that other stuff is not also ideal as well, because you got too much inside knowledge of what's going on. It's too much of a direct. So being mad at some of these podcasters, some of these other people, talking about, like, why are they doing this, and talking about them, and then also being like, this ad is sponsored by, I'm like, they're not playing the same game. They're not playing in the same field. This is not the same thing. There's a lot of us at our job that we know that you can't do these certain things, because it will equal this or whatever like that. And guess what? You gotta do it. Plus, if your job sort of tells you to do it, and you are also at a job where you are getting paid millions and millions of dollars, why also would you jeopardize that? And also, what kind of goof do you got to be doing this as well too? I was like, why? I was like, see, cause that, to me, that'll always sound like you got something bigger going on if that's the case. But yeah, I was like, this is really just a rant, because I see it in the comments all the time. People just be like, oh, how ironic that you're over here talking about this when you're over here sponsored by this. Oh, so it's okay for you to do it. And it's like, damn right it is. Damn right it is. It's not the same thing. We're not doing the same thing here. You got some insider cahoots going on for why you decided to only do 10 minutes of game today. Why? I was like, normally you Iron Man, but today that looks a little suspicious. And I was like, so you can't just be out. I was like, as a player, you can't be out here doing that. And as people and commentating, you gotta use your brain to be like, it's not the same thing, my guy. I was like, it's like you hold all the cards. I was like, to me, I was like, it's basically over here. I was like, basically playing pool, and you over here being like, oh no, I can't play. Oh no, I can't play. And then all of a sudden, you just start being a pro once some money's on the board. I was like, oh, you think you can get me with the okie doke? That's how it sort of feels with the basketball thing. So it's like, no, it's not the same thing. I was like, they're able to sponsor whatever they sponsor. Like I said, if you want to come out to sponsor themselves, for them being hypocritical, being like, hey, I know I think it's highly addictive, but how would you like to try? But this is the case. You get hooked on it. We want you to call this number that we may or may not have some connection to get you better help, and not better help, but it also gets you maybe back on the saddle. Not too fast though, because you got to build your money up. But then we come right back. You understand me? So that's just wild to me. That's just wild to me of like how sometimes but that's the thing with comments. The comments would be like, man, I certainly hate waffles, and it's like, so you saying that pancakes are the best? It's like, that's not what I said. I just said I hate waffles. I never said pancakes is the best or not. But if that's the way you want to take it, that's the way you want to see it, then cool, fine by me. Anyway, little rant, whatever about it, just because I think sometimes people's comprehension of things is really dumb. In this situation, I was like, sound like you just want to be mad at the people that you're watching, or watch enough to basically just start going in the comments and being like, you're an idiot, or whatever like that. Anyway, rant's over.